Hello everybody and welcome back to Nerdy Miniatures, and in today's video we will be painting the mini of the month, which in this case is the terrifying Tyranid. So if you want to see how I painted it and how I created a very cool crystal base, then just keep on watching. So like I said, this is the mini of the month, the little Tyranid guy. I've never actually painted a Tyranid before, so this was new for me. I went in first with the spray paint Wraithbone, just got quite a pale base because I was experimenting with a bit of contrast paints this time. So going in with said contrast paint, I went in with Volupus Pink all over the figure and let it sink into all the crevices. Next, I wanted a little bit of a contrast of colour, so I went in with Cyberite Green, and I went originally over this over the tongue and over the claws. Realised later on I didn't actually like it on the claws, so I just went in with this on the tongue. And in his skin, he has a few little gill-like areas. I also filled those in with the Cyberite Green as well. Next, it was time to dry brush. My cats were very interested in me during this entire painting, so you'll see them quite a bit. Unfortunately, it does mean at times the footage just got out of focus because my cat wanted to be in the limelight. But not the point. For this, I went in with White Scar and I dry brushed it over the entire figure, really to catch all of the high points, which this Tyranid has a lot of. Going in over those claws now, I went in with Pallid Witch Flesh just to kind of create a more, well, claw-like colour, because I realised that even though this is an alien-like creature, I still wanted to have claw-like colours. Now it was time to add some shade paint, so for this I went in with Caribou Crimson just to re-add some depth, because at this point he was looking a little bit anemic, and I actually ended up going over the Pallid Witch Flesh on the claws and on the hooves, but it actually created a little bit of a contrast in shade between the rest of the body, so it was quite a nice combination. Now it was time to start highlighting, so originally I went in with just Pink Horror on its own, and then I went in with Pink Horror mixed with White Scar, and I added some more really high points just to make sure that each of the scales on this figure were really amplified. Let's not forget his weapon. For this, I went in with Lead Belcher, just plain simple Lead Belcher, and later on in the end ended up bringing a tiny bit of Moot Green to it as well. After this, it was time to actually build our crystals. So to do this, I used an old spruce. So this is what I mean by you really shouldn't waste anything. These are things are really great for creating bases. So using cutters, I went in and I cut off pieces of the spruce, which it's a very good thing I didn't waste these because they came in handy. I cut them to the right length, and then using those cutters and also using a Stanley knife, which if you're going to do this, please be careful. I then carved them to create crystal-like shapes and then glued them to the base. For the crystals, I went in with a little bit of Wraithbone just to make sure they were the right base colour before I went in with my actual crystal shade, which for this was Moot Green. Now again, I apologise for the fact this went in and out of focus quite a bit. I had my newborn in my arms at this point, so I was trying to multitask. But what I went in with next was White Scar, and I just hit the high points of the crystals, hitting any of the edges and any of the long straight sides that I didn't cut away, just to kind of create a sharp, bright look and also to create a crystal look. Of course, if that wasn't crystal enough, I then went in with some Ard Coat over the top, which is a clear, shiny top coat, just to make sure they stood out a little bit against the base. For the actual base itself, I went over the base with Astro Granite, and then I dry brushed with Dawnstone and White Scar, just to add a little bit of dimension. And that is it. That is our entire figure painted. That is our entire base painted. I actually went in afterwards with a little bit of moot green off camera, just around the edges, just to tie it in with the crystals. And I realised I actually really quite like this colour combination of the pink and green. So I'll be using it again in the future. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial on how I painted my little Tyranid. It was a new kind of take for me because I'm still really new to using contrast paints, but I will be practicing more and hopefully getting better over the next year. So if you want to see my progress, then subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that. Down in the description you'll find 3 links. The first to our Discord channel. We are a small community, slowly growing, and we'd really appreciate the support over there. So if you want to join us, have some fun, please feel free. You'll then find 2 YouTube links. The first to Mr. Nerd's channel. So if you enjoy MMOs and action RPGs, then please feel free to have a look at that. If you enjoy lore on topics like Tolkien and Warhammer, which if you're watching this I can assume you do, then you'll love it over on my channel where I cover just that. Anyway, that'll be it from me today. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are in the world. And as always, peace out, guys.